Business Bites. Go further and grow stronger with InvestNI. Join local businesses generating billions, exporting to Europe. Check your export readiness with InvestNI's free online export health check. Business Bites with InvestNI.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Business Bites. My name is David Tide, the Managing Director of Bauer Media here in Northern Ireland. And each week we delve into the world of business in our part of the world. Well, this week we've been waiting quite a long time to make this connection, but I'm so glad we have. We're talking to Stephanie McEvoy. She's the founder of Farming Carbon. Stephanie, welcome to Business Bites.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure, and we've been we first made a connection probably about a year ago, but we finally got to have this conversation, which I'm really pleased about. So let's get straight into this conversation. So I want to know a little bit about how Stephanie McEvoy became the founder of Farming Carbon. How did that happen?
Yes, this is a question that is always a little bit tricky to answer. I don't really know, but I do know that I had a career experience for 5 years working at sea in high-end hospitality on super yachts. And the kind of people that I worked for were all entrepreneurs. They all had an idea and they ran with it. So even though I really enjoyed that part of my career, traveling the world and doing it, I definitely thought I had this kind of inkling that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, that I wanted to do something. And then I came home during COVID and I thought, well, this is as good a time as any. Just start to look at what do we need and how can I actually do something that is more in line with my values and goals. So I've began Farming Carbon at that point and I've been working on it ever since. But yeah, it's something I was doing community organizing and environmental activism anyway. So it was something that I knew a lot about, that I had read a lot on, and actually getting into it now. When you're practically doing it, it's so much more rewarding. So
yeah, great story. And we often find people have started something completely different and then move into a different thing, and maybe sometimes take some of those things they've learned with them. And we're great supporters of anything that promotes a better environment on Business Bites. So tell me, I'm sitting here running a business. There's a lot going on in business right now. Why would I be connecting with Farming Carbon? What is it that Farming Carbon does, and how can it benefit me as a business person?
So Farming Carbon at the minute, we are a startup and I'm the only employee. So actually what we provide is business consultancy. So helping businesses to understand what sustainability is and how it applies to their business, but not just the business. If you think of like who the stakeholders are in their business, it's how do they really resonate with their employees, with their customers, potentially with any other like stakeholders or maybe investors, people on the board, like the kind of wider the things beyond the business that make a difference to them. So in terms of the environmental impact, it might seem at first that like, oh, I work in enter any industry, it doesn't matter to me, but it does, because if it matters to the people that you want to sell to or you want to serve, then it should matter to you. And that's where it becomes like a business priority. But for a lot of businesses, they don't know even where to start at the minute. And that's really where we're at. So I meet businesses where they are now and help them on that journey and to kind of develop a strategy for moving forward on that. Farming Carbon, I suppose, is the name is reference to the vision. So eventually we want to be able to match up businesses that want to do environmental impact and farmers that are delivering like really ecologically impactful projects and practices. So it's trying to bring the two together. It would help diversify farm income, which would help with food security and production. And obviously it would help the businesses to make a difference in the local kind of realm.
Yeah, so it's like that circular economy that people talk about. So you've written a book, which I can see there in the corner, ESG Made Easy. So yeah. For those that don't know, what is ESG and how is it made easy, without giving away what's in the book?
Yeah. Well, I couldn't do that because it would take too long, but ESG means environment, social and governance. And the subtitle of the book is Why Sustainability Matters. So really, this is just the first rung on the ladder of trying to understand where do you fit in to this kind of it's a whole shift. It's even like it's consumer purchasing shift, like it's a outlook shift. It's the way we look at the world. It's all changing, and it's like, where can your business stay relevant and make sure that you're doing the things that are easy? A lot of times people who maybe we'll call them naysayers of sustainability, they might say that, oh, it's so expensive. Sure, how are you going to do that? It's so expensive. But the whole point of sustainability is to become more efficient, more circular, and waste less. So there's loads of opportunities for businesses to save money and become more efficient, as well as impress your customers, your employees, and really get people more bought into it. But it's that balance of all three. So your environmental impact, the social is every human that's associated with the business, whether you're employed or selling to them, and then the governance is just making sure that we have a way of discussing, like of a standard, I suppose, to be upheld. But yeah, it can be a lot easier than it's sort of gatekept to be at the minute.
Well, the book is, the book's going to make it very easy for everybody. So
yeah.
There you go. Where can we get that book?
It's available on Amazon or direct through our website. And just Amazon's probably the easiest place to pick it up from.
Okay, so let's just go back to our part of the world. So first of all, people starting up businesses, it's really tough. It's a real tough job, and we have huge levels of support and respect for people who are doing that. So we take our hat. I take my hat off to you for doing it. So did you get support, or did you how did that all happen, and how are we doing in our part of the world, do you think, in the whole area of sustainability from what you've seen?
Sustainability here is definitely quite a new thing. I think it's more relevant. It's a word that we're all talking about, but it's more, in terms of business, it's more relevant for bigger organizations, so medium to large size. And it depends sort of who their supply chain is. So if you're trying to bid into public procurement, this will have been a priority for you for the last 3 or 4 years. If your supply chain is blue chip organizations, it'll be becoming more important now. Whereas if you're a small business that is selling straight to consumer, it's probably not as important. But it's definitely about looking at that kind of like, for some businesses, it'll be really, really important, and they don't know how to take it or where to go with it. But yeah.
Well, and that's a kind of that's a sort of an overview of where you think we are. What about the support as a young, new entrepreneur? How much did you feel you got supported trying to start things up and helped?
Absolutely. Yes. I have had so much support. I think it's actually incredible to start a business in Northern Ireland because the ecosystem is relatively small, which means everyone's really accessible. And it has been really, really incredible. So I've worked with the Ulster Bank Accelerator, which is in the city centre. I've also worked with Raise Ventures. They've been incredibly supportive. I've recently just started working to get my innovation voucher with Invest NI. So I'm hoping to build out the proof of concept for the technology that we're building. And then there's a lot of people in between. I feel like we all rally. That's one thing in Northern Ireland that's amazing. And it's the same for us, like as a business. I'm rallying for my customers too. Like I want people to know that, my van and Allstate and Malin Technologies, that they've worked with us and they've done so much in their own organizations, as well as helping us to plant trees on local farms and really embracing the journey. But no, there's been the ecosystem in terms of entrepreneurs and innovation here is incredible. And yeah, I've had a lot of support from a lot of people. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's good to hear. It's good to hear. Right. Finally, what's next, Stephanie? You've written a book, you've launched a business, you've sailed around the world. What's the next iteration of Farming Carbon? Where are we going next year?
I know, incredibly, it's getting even bigger. So we are actually pitching for investment at the moment. We're going to be taking on a technological team. It's a tough word. And they're going to help to build out a platform where we can really make the vision a reality in terms of empowering and educating farmers with regenerative farming practices. There's going to be a policy creator as well, just to help to minimize the burden of paperwork that farmers are experiencing at the minute. And vitally, the part that we've done all the kind of foundational work for is this ESG marketplace. So where businesses can go on and farmers can also advertise their projects. And a bit like Gumtree, whether you're buying or selling, you can go on and look at all of what's available there. And I think that'll be incredibly powerful for the farming community to feel like they're being supported, because they're kind of carrying the burden of environmental responsibility on their own at the minute. And then also for businesses that are wanting to just, rather than planting trees in Norway or planting trees somewhere they don't really know if they've been planted, if they want to commit to environmental impact, commit to something tangible that they can see, that they can help with, and that the team can volunteer with as well.
Well, it sounds like it's going places, and we're happy to lend our support to you. I was going to say you and the team, but you are the team right now.
I am the team.
You are the whole thing.
Yeah.
But look, listen, it's been really good chatting with you, Stephanie. Best of luck with the book. What's the website, finally?
Oh, www.farmingcarbon.co.uk.
Right. Pretty straightforward stuff. Great. Well, get on there. And if you're watching this from a local business and you want to get involved, get in touch with Stephanie. And it's been a great conversation. I've really enjoyed catching up with you.
Oh, thanks so much. Lovely to chat with you too, David.
Thanks for being our guest this week. See you soon.
Cheers. Thank you. Thanks.
Business Bites. Go further and grow stronger with Invest NI. Join local businesses generating billions, exporting to Europe. Check your export readiness with Invest NI's free online export health check. Business Bites with Invest NI.